Welcome to Sacred Confessions. Grab a snack, take a seat, and relax. This is how our confession for today goes. The night my tarot cards spoke back to me. Most people think tarot is just a deck of pretty cards, a party trick, a way to impress friends. But I need to confess something. One night my tarot cards spoke back to me, and after that night I never touched them the same way again. I wasn't a believer at first. I bought my first deck because it looked cool. Black with gold edges, mysterious designs that felt like they belonged in another world. I told myself it was just for fun. The first few readings were lighthearted, like, will I find love? Will I get a new job? My friends laughed at the cards' answers. Sometimes they seemed accurate, sometimes not. But then one night I decided to try it alone. It was past midnight. The air felt heavy. I lit a single candle, shuffled the cards slowly, and whispered my question. What do I need to know about my future? The first card I pulled was the Tower, the card of destruction, chaos, endings. My heart raced. The second card was Death, and the third the Devil. Three of the darkest cards in the deck all are lined up in front of me. I froze. I remembered thinking, this can't be real, it's just random. But then something strange happened. The candle flame flickered violently even though no windows were open. My breath felt heavier, like the air itself had grown thicker. And in that silence, I swear I heard a voice. It wasn't loud. It wasn't even clear, but it was there, a whisper. You asked, now you listen. My hands trembled. The cards looked differently, like their eyes were staring at me, like the symbols were alive. The devil almost seemed to smirk. I panicked. I gathered the cards, shoved them back into the box, and blew out the candle. But that night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those three cards, the Tower, Death, the Devil, over and over again. The next day, my life began to unravel. I got a call from work. A mistake in paperwork had cost me an opportunity I had been chasing for months. The same day, my best friend and I had a terrible fight, and we stopped speaking. And then the final blow. A close family friend ended up in the hospital, completely unexpected. Tower, Death, Devil, just like the spread. I didn't want to believe it, but how could I ignore it? Still, I thought maybe it was just coincidence. So a week later, against my better judgment, I pulled the deck out again. This time I asked, should I keep reading the cards? I shuffled. My hands shook so badly I could barely keep hold of them. The first card was the High Priestess, the Keeper of Secrets. The second was the Moon, Illusions, Hidden Truths. And the third was blank, completely blank. I had never seen that before. My deck didn't have a blank card, but there it was staring up at me like an empty mirror. And then I heard it again, that whisper, louder this time. You open the door. Don't ask questions you're not ready to hear. I threw the cards across the room and ran out. My chest felt tight, my hands freezing cold. I couldn't explain what had just happened, and I didn't tell anyone. Since then, strange things have followed me. Sometimes when I dream, the cards appear, reshuffling themselves until that same spread stares at me. Tower, Death, Devil. Other times I'll hear faint whispers when I walk past where I used to keep the deck, even though I threw it away. But here's the truth I can't shake. Tarot isn't just cards. It's a language. And once it knows you're listening, it talks back. So this is my confession. I asked the cards about my future, and they answered. But what they didn't tell me was that once you start listening, you can't silence them. And if you're tempted to buy a deck to shuffle and ask questions, remember my story. Because sometimes the answers don't come from you, sometimes the answers come from them. Thank you for listening to today's story. Cheers!